Hello, hello, it's Fabienne, and I am here with Amanda Hinman, who is here to share her story with you about what it was like before joining us in the program and what's happened to her business and to her life since. Amanda, it's so great to have you here. Introduce yourself.
Thank you, Fabienne. It's an honor to be here, and I'm super excited to have this conversation with you. Yes, as you said, my name's Amanda Hinman, and I'm the founder of the Hinman Holistic Health Institute, and I help women to transform and balance their hormone health so that they can feel like the best version of themselves and really have the greatest impact in their business and in their family.
What was it? So you've been in the program for some time, and you keep growing with us. What was your situation like specifically before you found us? What wasn't working?
Well, I've had two big kind of pivotal experiences. I mean, first I found you, Fabienne, several years ago when I had the dream to start a business and I knew I wanted to have an impact on people's health and didn't know the first thing about business, didn't know how to do it. So at that point, really stepped in to learn some of the basics of how to market, how to even share what I do and how to talk about it with other people. And then grew and learned, how to have sales, how to have conversations with women and really listen to what their needs were and put together a program and a package to provide amazing results so that it could become something I could do on a larger scale and help more and more women to take control of their health and feel empowered.
Yeah, so when you first joined us, it was like you needed marketing, you needed sales, skills, you needed just like structure, just like, I need clarity. I need a thing.
I need a thing, exactly. I need a thing. I knew health. I knew the world of functional medicine. I knew the world of health, but how do I explain what I can do to somebody else? I don't know how to, I don't know how to explain that. I don't know how to, start to help people see what's possible for them. That's really the marketing side, really sharing, authentically, consistently. And again, you have this picture of, I love it, from one of the mindset retreats where it talks about, the body of all possible knowledge. And there's this little green sliver of the stuff that we know. That was the health piece. I knew that. Then there's the red part, the stuff that we know that we don't know it yet. And I knew I didn't know how to be a business owner, but I wanted to learn. And then there's the whole rest of the pie, which is yellow, all of the things that I don't even know that I don't know yet about being at this place in business.
Yeah.
So that has been, to me, that's what Boldheart has provided. It's shrunk my yellow from the beginning when I was like,
just didn't even know that you didn't know. You finally knew. So the first round, you got to learn the marketing, authentic marketing, systematic marketing, authentic selling. You filled your practice and you got, is it okay to share? Like you got to 6 figures in your business. Congratulations, from I need a thing to 6 figures, where that's like top 5% of all entrepreneurs in the world. So congratulations. And now you are back to scale your business with us. And what was it that made you jump into the next evolution of working with Boldheart? What wasn't working then?
Yeah, well, it's exactly what you described. I got to the point where my practice was full and my time was maxed out. So it really is that next level of like, okay, I need to leverage this. I need to bring on some team to support me and create more efficient systems in the business so that I can work with more women, right? Otherwise, you're just maxed out on what's possible time-wise. I'm also a mom. I have 4 daughters. I do want to have a life outside of my business. So that was really important. Yeah. And for me, it was like this, I knew where I wanted to go, but again, a whole next frontier of, I didn't even know what I didn't know about how do I bring on a team member? Like, what's the first area of my business that I should get support with? And how do I train that team member to be able to do the role that they need to do,
Yeah. Delegating, creating accountability, how do you hire right, all of those things.
Yeah.
Was there was there a little, well, then I want to hear like what's happened even since. So you're in this next level of the program. You've grown, you've experienced some changes. Is there anything you want to share about what's happened since you started leveraging your business?
Yeah, I mean, it's been awesome since joining that, like you said, leveraging my business, kind of stepping into that next frontier. I have in the first 4 months of 2021, I have 100% increased my revenue. I mean, I'm on track to go beyond 200,000 this year. And this is just not even halfway through the year, right? It's really, and I've seen what's possible by seeing the other success of other members, but I think there's such a different element that happens when you're in the room. Like when you're in these conversations, and it's no big deal to hear about Stephanie and Sarah and Molly and like hear what everyone's doing. It normalizes it, I think. And I start to feel like, oh, wow, like they're all doing this. I can do this too. And that is the piece that's kind of the intangible part of just being plugged into a community like Boldheart. It's hard to quantify, like, what are the quantifiable metrics that I can measure? It's more of like some of the intangibles that happen.
Yeah. Well, if because I've known you for a few years, I know that you're an achiever, and we attract a lot of achieving women who, if they just know it can be done, if they have the steps, like there's nothing that's going to stop you from doing it. And so I think when you hear what you're talking about, the intangible is hearing that, let's say that person came in at 100,000 and in a year and a half, she's already at 500,000 or 300,000 a year. And she's spending more time with her spouse and with her kids, and she's leveraging this and that. It really boosts confidence. And would you agree that that's kind of what happens?
Absolutely. That's exactly what happens is you're like, oh, I can see the roadmap. I can see how this is doable now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There might have been some resistance to joining us because it's an investment of investment of time. Maybe you'd done some other programs in the past and that hadn't panned out, so you were thinking, oh, is this just another one of those things that's like a flash in the pan? What came up for you if there was any resistance to joining us at first?
Oh my goodness. For me, the resistance is often around like thinking like, okay, I know that. I've got that. Like I tend to be somebody who loves to learn. That's one of my strengths as learner. So previously I was, I don't know, in the space of like, if I intellectually understood something, I thought I knew it. And you have really pushed me, Fabienne, I love it, to think about like, there's 3 levels of knowing, right? There's knowing it if you intellectually are aware of it. There's knowing it of like, yeah, this is something I experience from time to time. And then there's like really knowing it, like this is just my life. Like it's a given. That's how I live, right? Mm-hmm. And I'll never forget the first time you shared those 3 levels of knowing. I was like, oh, yeah, there's some truth to that. Like I'm not living that yet. So there must be some layers that I haven't uncovered yet, right?
Yeah, sometimes we meet women who will say like, yeah, this is not new. I know I need team. I know I need systems. What's new about this? And they don't realize that the reason that you may have heard about something, you may have read books about it, but you haven't implemented it because there's a mindset shift that needs to be overcome, a limiting belief, past experiences that didn't work, fears, the rules that we have and all of that. So as you know, we have this mindset first methodology that we have to actually clear the resistance, clear the limiting beliefs, and have you step into that next bigger vision, not just version of yourself, the vision of yourself before you can step into the version of yourself. And I think that makes a big difference at Boldheart, where other programs fall short. They forget the subconscious, the programming, the mindset.
Huge. And I think for me, admittedly, that was one of the hardest things, because being an achiever, I'm used to being successful at what I set out to do. And so to have this totally supportive, loving space that I allowed myself to become vulnerable, like that's something that's out of my comfort zone, is to look at like, what are the stories that I'm telling myself around why this can't work for me, or why this oh, that strategy may work for some, but it's not going to be the same for me. Like I used to have a lot of those stories, and I at one point felt justified having those stories because that had been my life experience. Now I recognize the opportunity to say, like, look at that. Just be curious about it. And what would it take to create something new and different going forward, right? So you've given me a whole framework of how to approach the resistance and those challenges that come up with a new set of tools. Like I have a new tools set at my disposal, right? We do that mindset work.
I even just remember last week on the Q&A call, I won't go into the specifics, but you had brought up a question and you were wondering if something was possible. And I said, well, it's not possible with the mindset that you have now. No. That's all I'll say. And I just remember you looking out thinking like, oh, yeah, totally. She got me.
Yeah, and I know that you keep coming up. It's not like it's a one and done and then you're good. It's like at every new level, there's going to be new stuff that is brought up. So that's why I feel like stepping into having the support around you, because again, it shrinks your yellow in the area of you don't even know what you don't know until that new layer is being revealed about what are going to be the challenges, what are going to be the limiting beliefs. And then to have your expert guidance and mentorship when they are present, as well as the rest of the community of amazing women.
Talk about the community for a second. What are these people like?
They're awesome. Like these are women that are truly deeply passionate and like heart-centered, generous. I mean, that's who you tend to attract is, women that want to make a difference in the world, women that are here to help and support each other. I mean, I think sometimes we are our own best advocates in the program, our community members, and like my AB, I've become
accountability buddy. Yeah. So there's somebody right now who's watching, and she's been following us for some time, and she has, she's on the fence. She's like, oh God, this is an investment of my time and my financial resources. Will it work? And she keeps dancing, around us, kind of lurking and questioning and seeing herself in the program, but she hasn't committed yet. She needs to know a day in the life of a Boldheart member. What are the aspects that you like the most? You like the activators, the mastermind pod, which is kind of like your board of directors that you talk to once a month, the weekly Q&A, what are the structure, the accountability? What are the aspects that you like the best that move the needle for you, Amanda?
I mean, there's so many great things. It's hard to identify, but if I had to pull out two, it is for sure the quarterly deep dive activators. I mean, just being able to like unplug once a quarter from the normal business operations and step back and think strategically about the bigger picture of like really, really celebrating what you have accomplished and reminding yourself. Because sometimes, I don't know, we get so focused on always moving ahead. We don't recognize our progress. That, and then kind of setting up the game plan. Like I'm, always really clear. I leave with like, okay, here's my roadmap for the next 3 months.
My project plan. Here are my resources. This is what I'm doing.
I'm still pen and paper. I still kind of pull out my project planners and have like my project and my action steps and the time. So I keep this on my desk. Like this is such a good gauge to know what I'm working on and how this is going to move the needle in my business. Right.
Yeah, because a lot of programs like just kind of people are drinking from a fire hose. So like you get this information and then you're like, okay, how do I take it from concept to fully implemented in my business? And we have the project planners, the implementation parties. We have the daily accountability emails, daily accountability phone calls, that structure for your nature. Has that been helpful for you?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, it's the ongoing kind of like continuously checking in every quarter and kind of having my game plan clear. Yeah. The other piece that I think is highly valuable is the weekly Q&A. Like I said last week, right? You never know, because I can have the best laid plans, but if I don't have that support to help me through the hurdles and challenges that come up that I didn't know were going to come up when I made the plan, then I kind of get stuck, right? But we have that touch point with you every week. So it's that chance to like, okay, see where I'm at and see if there's something that like is kind of throwing you off on a tangent, or you're just really feeling in a gunky place, or you had an awesome week and you're like, I want to celebrate. This is super exciting. Having that like ongoing touch point is really valuable.
Yeah, I think just knowing that you're usually never more than 6 days away from a multiple seven-figure mentor who cares about you, who knows you, and can give you a customized strategy like every single week. Some people say, you mean I get that time with you every week, and this is all I have to pay for the tuition, albeit it's, it's not like, it's an investment. But once you understand the kind of guidance that you get, you can pay less for another program, but you're dealing with somebody who will usually make the same that you make or less. So there is something to be said about that very high level strategy. This is why I invest in myself with people who make 10x what I make, because I understand the value of someone who has already seen around the corner because they've already been there. I think that's super valuable. What would you say to somebody who is like her future is pulling her towards us, but she has yet to commit to her bigger future?
Yes, I would say lean in. I truly believe in divine synchronicity, and if if you've had conversations, or if you've been curious about Boldheart and checking things out, or if it keeps coming up on your feed, it's there for a reason. It's not random, and it's always going to be a little fearful. Like, courage is taking that step in spite of the fear. So it's not waiting until that fear is gone. It's really recognizing like, hey, this is here for a reason. What would happen if I do? What's possible if I do step in, and if I do have the support. And like, I truly believe, I've seen it, and working with you, Fabienne, I've seen how things have grown. I've seen how it is, it is a process. It takes your commitment to continue to show up, even when things are uncomfortable and when things are not going the way that you expect. Yet when you do, the growth is just unbelievable. And you've helped me to you've helped me learn how to create my own financial independence and build a business that is going to be a legacy for my daughters. Like I have 4 daughters, and I think it's so amazing that they get to see their mom do what she loves and create impact in this world and create a business, right?
Yeah.
That's so powerful.
The children may not be thinking they're being impacted by your success, but it's the same way with my 3 children. They just think a successful woman in business who has a beautiful marriage, and who has downtime and who is impacting people, they just think that's normal. So they will take that on their subconscious as well. Speaking of possibility, on a final note, I want you to fast forward 3 to 5 years. As a result of you being in the Boldheart program, what is possible? What will you achieve in 3 to 5 years, Amanda?
Oh, I will have a 7-figure business. I know that. Yeah. I know it because I'm super excited for the journey to get there.
Yeah. And it's so funny because when we first met, you may not have said that.
No, I didn't think. I knew I wanted that, but I had no clue of how in the world.
Now you're like, oh yeah, that's mine. That's mine. And it's like when I talk to people, that's what they say now, because they've seen it happen with so many of our members. They're like, well, if they can do it, I can do it. I'm just going to follow the recipe. I'm just going to do what Fabienne tells me. And I can see that for you. And I love that for the entire Hinman family. That's just what I want for you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing your incredibly inspiring story, and can't wait for you to just keep stepping into your bigger future. Thank you for inspiring us today.
My pleasure. Thank you.